It's all about that knowledge. But I wanna hang with the people that's still in the world. Now I'm chilling, reading scriptures. I'm learning about eternal life and how to live forever. When I'm high, I don't wanna go nowhere. Cause I'm chilling, reading scriptures. I'm telling you the truth, if you know the truth, but it still be dabbling in the world.
Trying to find out about the call my job now to find out. I think I don't know if I'm positive I'm making it.
Chilling with the Father is way better than anybody else. If you read the truth, you know what I mean. Yeah, it's all about that knowledge. I wanna hang with the people that's still in the world. I'm chilling, reading scriptures. I'm learning about eternal life and how to live forever with a higher. I don't wanna go nowhere. Cause I'm chilling, reading scriptures. I ain't going nowhere. So don't call my phone. Cause I'm chilling, reading scripture. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. So don't call my phone. Call me now. Cause I'm chilling, reading scriptures tonight.
1 Corinthians 13 and 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
I'm chilling, reading scripture knowledge.
So I start the 5 minute count.
That's still in the world. I'm chilling, reading scripture. Eternal life and how to live forever with a higher. I don't wanna go nowhere. Cause I'm chilling, reading scriptures.
In the Bible, Isaiah 26 and 9. With my soul have I desired thee in the night. Yea, with my spirit within me will I seek the earth. For when thy judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness.
I desire to just praise the Most High. I desire to praise Him in His holy throne.
I wanna see my name written in the book of life.
My name written in the name.
Oh
Yeah. That would be nice.
I wanna worship at your holy throne.
That's right. Yeah.
I wanna see the one who created me from the foundations of the earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanna see that glorious place.
So beautiful. Yeah.
That we read about in the book of Revelation. That new earth and heaven.
While we flying on clouds. See all the new firmaments. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I desire.
I wanna dance like David did for your father.
We spin around for you
all day while I'm praising your name
in that new holy garment. Yeah.
This is what I desire. I desire.
That's what I want.
I wanna sing in your heavenly choir.
Yeah.
I wanna sing at your right side, on your left side, the place you prepared.
Just stare at you all day.
Hey, I wanna be in that new heaven and see that new earth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just flying on them clouds.
I want my name written in the Lamb's Book of Life.
Please, Father.
Oh, can my name be in the Lamb's Book of Life?
My name be in the book.
I wanna hear them holy angels sing.
Yeah.
Quadash, Quadash is the Lord of hosts.
Quadash is the Lord of hosts.
Is the Lord of hosts. I wanna sing for you
Yeah.
at your holy throne all day, Father.
That's what I desire.
Can my name be written in the Lamb's Book of Life? Please, oh Father, this is what I desire. I wanna sing in your heavenly choir, praising your name every day.
Every day. That's all I want.
I wanna see that glorious place
In Revelations 21.
that we read about in Revelation. Oh, I wanna see
I want to see that place, Father.
them golden streets.
Golden streets.
Hey, hey, hey.
Let my name be in the Lamb's book.
Can my name be? Let my name be written in the Lamb's Book of Life.
Yes.
Please, Father.
Me and my family.
Oh, I've been keeping your holy commandments. Yeah.
Shalom, brothers and sisters.
Shalom.
It's a good Sabbath today.
Khan.
Shalom to the brothers and sisters, to the viewers that's watching the show. All praises to Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shai. Hope everybody's doing well and in good health and in the spirit of the Most High. Khan?
Khan.
Okay, the topic of this class today is called the opening of the fifth seal. We're going to go into the book of Revelation, the 6th chapter. We're going to read the 9th verse to the 11th verse, and we're going to go through various other scriptures. But before I do that, to show and to tell you about the glory and the power of the Most High. See, it's times that we just have to sit back and let the Most High do his work. Okay, just let the Most High work, because you see over in Europe, you got droughts and you got major rivers is being affected over in Europe. You got the Danube, the Rhine, and the Po River. You got fishes are dying, crops are being destroyed. That's the work of the Most High. So you have what the Danube is the longest river in the European Union. So the Most High is making this attack. Okay, this river starts in the region of Germany and it runs through 10 other countries. That's how long that river is. And you got the Rhine River. It's located around Switzerland. Then you have the River Po, which is around Italy. It's the longest river in Italy. And then also the Most High is hitting this economy and hitting this world with wildfires, which ranges in France. And you have about 16,000 had to be evacuated. And you got the fire had spread it in Spain, Croatia, and in Greece. So we just sit back and let the Most High do his work and let the prophecies be fulfilled. So let's go into the book of Revelation, the 6th chapter, and let's start from the 9th verse.
Revelation chapter 6 and verse 9.
And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahweh, and for the testimony which they held.
Okay, this 9th verse. Now, before we go into this 9th verse and break it down, let's jump up to the 1st and the 2nd verse in this 6th chapter.
Revelation chapter 6 and verse 1. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, Come and see.
So this Lamb is Christ, Yahushua. He's the one that's opening up these seals. Read the 2nd verse.
And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, that he went forth conquering and to conquer.
Okay, this 2nd verse, and I saw a white horse. The rider of this horse is not Christ. It's not Yahushua. The rider of this horse in this first seal is the Antichrist. Because if you see the rider of this horse, he have a bow. Okay, but he have no weaponry, just like a gun with no bullets. So he have a bow, but what is the weapons that the Antichrist will use? He will use craftiness, cunning. The Antichrist would be charismatic, influence, and he would seem to have all the solution to the world problems. And he only has a crown. Yahushua has many crowns. You got me? Christ has many crowns. So the rider of this white horse is the Antichrist. And he has a bow, but no arrows. He have no arrows. Because his mind, the charismatic of this Antichrist, is what's really going to move the people. You see? Okay, so now let's jump back to that 9th verse. Now read that 9th verse. I just want to go to that to show you in this 9th verse, we're at the 5th seal now. The Antichrist has already been in operation since that first seal. So now you have famine in the earth. You have wars that's going to be in the earth. You have a lot of atrocities that's going to be in the earth. And then the attack on the martyrs, the attack on the saints. And let's read about this the 5th seal, the opening of the 5th seal. Read that 9th verse again.
Revelation chapter 6 and verse 9. And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahweh, and for the testimony which they held. Mm-hmm. And they cried with a loud voice.
That's good. Now this 9th verse, John said that he's seen the souls under the altar. Now how did John see these souls under the altar? How? In a vision. Let's go to Revelation 1 and 10. Revelation 1 and 10. Yawasop, get me Revelation 9:17.
Ready?
Yeah, go ahead and read Revelation 1 and 10.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 10.
Come on.
I was in the spirit.
You hear what John say? I was in the spirit. Read on.
On the outer one's day.
On the outer one's day. Read on.
And heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet.
As a trumpet. So John is letting you know how he saw the souls, how he saw the altar. It was a vision. Y'all got it? It was a vision. Now, come on, y'all. Stop. You got Revelation 9:17.
It's Revelation chapter 9, verse 17.
And Revelation 5
and
6.
Thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and jacinth and brimstone. And the head of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouth issued fire and smoke and brimstone.
So you hear what John said in the 17th verse? And thus I saw the horses in what? In the vision. So remember, Revelation 6 and 9, all through 11, is a vision that John the Revelator saw. Now let's go to Revelation 5 and 6.
Revelation chapter 5 and verse 6. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb, as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of Yahweh, sent forth into all the earth.
Okay, so now John is also seeing in the vision, he's seeing Christ. standing before the throne of the Most High, and you know Christ is not going to be standing before the throne of the Most High, all blooded up with 7 eyes. Con? It's a vision. Con? It's a vision. Okay, so now let's go back, turn over a little bit, Revelation 6 and 9th verse. Let's start that again. We're going to be hitting this scripture for a minute, this verse for a minute. Go ahead.
Revelation 6 and 9. And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahweh and for the testimony which they held.
Okay, now this vision that John saw, he said that I was in the spirit on the Lord's day. Y'all remember that in Revelation 1 and 10, right? He said, I was in the spirit on the Lord's day. Now, this day is a day that belonged to the Most High. Now, we know the Sabbath day belongs to the Most High, but the Most High gave that day to who? Man. But this particular day would be, it's a phrase used to describe historical events and future events. Okay, when it speaks about the day of the Most High, this day refers to the Lord's day, that the Most High will be exalted alone in that day. Get me Isaiah 2 and 17. This day refers to a day of great trouble, great tribulation. It's called the day of the Lord, the day of the Most High. Come on.
Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 17. And the loftiness of men shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low, and Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day.
In that day. What day? The Lord's day. Who's going to be exalted? Alone. The Most High's day. It's not going to be the other gods. It's not going to be the politician. It's not going to be man. It's not going to be Mother Nature. It's going to be the Most High, as you see over in Europe today, you know, with the droughts, with the fires. That's the Most High, the power of the Most High. The Most High will be exalted alone in that time and in that day. Now we back in Revelation 6 and 9. Okay, that 5th seal, John said, I saw under the altar, he say the souls. Now, when John speaks about this altar, which altar were he referring to in this vision? You had the altar sacrifice and you had the altar of incense. So which altar was John referring to? He was referring to what? The altar of sacrifice. Because where were the souls? You know, we're going to get into that word souls too. But where were the souls sacrificed? Were they sacrificed in heaven or were they sacrificed in the earth? In the earth. Where was Yahushua sacrifice at? In the earth. He was on the cross, the altar of the earth. Let's go to Romans 12 and 1. Romans 12 and 1.
Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice.
A living sacrifice. Your bodies is a living sacrifice. That means spiritual and physical. Your life, your body is a sacrifice for who? The Most High. And Christ is our example. You follow his example. We are a sacrifice. Brother, when you're out there putting the work in, your everyday life is a sacrifice while you remain on the face of this planet Earth. Okay, now let's go back to Revelation. Now, what John saw in this vision, he saw the souls as if they was collected under this altar. The altar is a place of sacrifice where you would sacrifice the victim, the burning victim, and the blood will run under to the ground. So this is a place for slain and burning victims and spilling the blood unto death. That's what the sacrifice is. The animal sacrifice, and you see the martyrs in the earth that was sacrificed. A lot of them was beheaded. A lot of them was shot with arrows. A lot of them was stabbed with swords and everything. A lot of them was thrown to lions. They died violent and vicious death. And you think the Most High is not going to avenge that? Yes, he will. But it have to be a numerical value. It have to be a number set of the martyrs. It have to be a number, check this out, it may sound harsh, but it have to be a number of deaths or a number of martyrs before the Most High avenge. Because the Most High have a plan of salvation. And it's a number, we're going to read in the 10th verse where the souls are crying, when are you going to avenge us? But the Most High is going to tell them, hey, wait a little season until your other brothers that's going to die like you die, wait until they be taken out too. So it's a number set of how many martyrs that would be for the Most High to avenge our people, for the Most High to avenge the nation, for the Most High to avenge what is being said in this verse. It's a number of martyrs that have to take place. Con? Okay, so these souls, these martyrs, they are under the altar, which indicates what? That in the sight of the Most High, they have been offered. Let's go to Psalms 116 and 15. And this altar is a representation of the sacrifice of Christ, because Christ was crucified in the earth. And he was placed on the altar in the earth. And the altar is the earth. You see? The altar is the earth. Because if this actually, remember this is a vision. Now, if this actually going on in the spirit realm, in the heavens, there were many martyrs. So how many altars is it? Is it many altars? Or is it one big altar with all the martyrs up under that one altar? So it is a vision. Con? Continues.
Psalms chapter 116 and verse 15.
Let's go.
Precious in the sight of Yahweh is the death of his saints. O Yahweh.
Right. Read that again. Y'all listen to this now.
Psalm 116 and 15. Precious in the sight of Yahweh is the death of his saints.
You know, that's heavy there. Precious in the saint of the Most High is what? The death of his saints. They are an offering to the Most High. See? Because the martyrs that's under this altar, which the altar is the earth, they're in the grave and they're waiting what? They're waiting resurrection. That's how you're going to get the resurrection. You got to be dead. You can't be living and get the resurrection. You have to be resurrected. Resurrected, you have to be dead. Right or wrong? Okay. Now, the altar that was in the earth had 4 horns on the 4 corners of the altar of sacrifice in the tabernacle, which those 4 horns symbolically represented the 4 corners of the earth. See, because you had martyrs that was being slayed throughout the world in the 4 corners of the earth. And the earth is just like one huge altar that's dedicated to the Most High, because you got much blood is spilled in the earth every day, being sacrificed to the Most High. Con? Now, let's go into this word souls. Get me the book of Acts 27, 36 to 38. And if you can, get me 1 Peter 3 and 20. And Yawasop, get me Acts 7, 14. And Caleb, get me Genesis 12 and 5. If you forget what I gave you, just let me know.
27, what verse?
We go into the book of Acts, the 27th chapter, and the 36 through the 36 to the 38th verse. Yeah.
Acts chapter, you said, Salaki, what was that again?
27th chapter from the 36th verse to the 38th.
Acts chapter 27 and verse 36. Then were they all of good cheer, and they also took some meat. And we were all in the ship, 260 souls.
So this is when Paul was in that shipwreck. So it's telling you, then were they all of good cheer, and they took also meat. They took also some meat. And we were in this ship 216 what? Souls. 16 people. Souls of people. Okay? Come on. 1 Peter, I gave it to you. 1 Peter 3:20. Caleb got Genesis 12:5.
1 Peter,
right.
chapter 3 and verse 20.
I kind of got lost myself. Come on.
Which sometime were disobedient, when once the long suffering of Yahweh waited in the days of Noah,
right,
while the ark was a preparing, wherein few, that is 8 souls, were saved by water.
See, 8 souls were saved. 8 people were saved. So going back to Revelation 6 and 9, John saw the souls that was under the altar in the vision. He saw what? The martyrs. He saw the people. Okay. Read what you got. Acts 7:14. Get me Ezekiel 18:4.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 7, verse 14. Then sent Joseph and called his father Jacob to him, and all his kindred, 70 souls.
See, 70 what? Souls. Let's get Genesis 12:5.
Book of Genesis, chapter 12 and verse 5. And Abraham took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan.
And all the what? Souls that they have gotten, all the people that they have gotten. Ezekiel 18:4.
Ezekiel chapter 18 and verse 4.
Y'all get me John 3:13. Caleb, Mark the 12th chapter, 26 and 27 verse.
Ezekiel chapter 18 and verse 4.
Come on.
Behold, all souls are mine, as the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sinneth, it shall die.
You hear that? The soul, the person that sinned, they shall die. All people, all souls, all spirits belong to the Most High. You see that? Okay, John 3:13, y'all stop.
This is the book of John, chapter 3 and verse 13.
Come on.
And no man hath ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man, which is in heaven.
Okay, pulling that scripture to show you that who ascended into the heavens? Christ. He came down, so he ascended. So what John is actually seeing, like we said before, he's seeing a vision. It is not actually actual people there conversing with the Most High, talking with the Most High. Okay, this is a vision. Okay, now come on, Caleb, Mark the 12th chapter, 26, 27 verse.
Mark chapter 12 and verse 26. And as touching the dead, that they rise, have ye not read in the book of Moses, and how in the bush God spake unto him, saying, I am the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob? He is not the God of the dead.
You hear what? You hear that? The Most High is not the God of the dead, but of what?
But the God of the living.
Of the living. Read on.
He therefore do greatly err.
Right, that's it, right? Okay, so the word is soul. It was put there for the word people, the word persons. Instead of saying persons, it's saying what? Souls. It's the same. So John actually saw persons. Where were they slain? They were slain in the earth. Where was the altar? The altar was the earth, not in the spirit realm. Okay, this is the vision that he's seeing, because souls are what? Mortal. Got me? Okay, now, when Christ was in the earth, Christ explained the 5th seal. Did he not? He explained the 5th seal and the coming of the great tribulation. And these events were spoken by Christ, Yahushua, in Matthew's the 24th chapter. Y'all remember that, right? When he told the disciples, he said, look, you're going to be delivered up to governors and so forth, and you're going to be killed. Okay, that's the 5th seal. Because it might be some of the martyrs that John is seeing in the vision that Yahushua was actually talking to. That you're going to be put to death for my name's sake. And they're going to be, now there's 2 sets of martyrs when we read in Revelation the 6th chapter. We're going to get the verse where there's two sets. There's the models that John is seeing, and then when they are asked to rest a little season until your brethren are joining you, that's another group of martyrs. And we're going to give you the time period where that future group is going to be joined. Because like I said before, it's a numerical value. It's a time. It's a plan of salvation that the Most High has. It's a time, it's a number that the Most High is looking at. I'm waiting for this number. When the last martyr is put to death, that's when the Most High is going to avenge. Once that last martyr, he said, that's my number. Let's go get him. Con? Is anybody holding anything for me, or did I didn't give up nothing, did I? Okay, just explain. In Matthew the 24th chapter, Yahushua said that there will be martyrs and there will be the souls of the martyrs. And he spoke about that the disciples will be delivered up, they will be put to death, and then he spoke about the great tribulation. That's in the future. So he spoke about the fifth seal. He spoke about all the seals, but he explained that fifth seal. Con? Okay, now the word martyr means witness. Witness to the faith. That's what the word martyr means. Okay? The witness to the faith. Now the first martyr was who? Everybody. Who was the first martyr in the New Testament scriptures? Stephen, right? Who? No, I think Steve. Yeah. Stephen was one of the first. He was known as a proto-martyr, which an original or one of the first. Okay, let's go to Acts the 7th chapter. Because you said John the Baptist now. John the Baptist may have been. Okay. So we're talking about like the disciples and the apostles and so forth. Okay, because you did have, I said the New Testament, like Christian martyrs, because you did have martyrs in the Maccabee period. See, they was martyrs too. You did have some of the prophets that was killed in the Old Testament. They was martyrs too. Okay. Now, Acts the 7th chapter. Let's read from the 55th verse to the 60th verse.
Acts chapter 7 and verse 55.
Come on.
But he, being full of the Holy Spirit.
This is Stephen. He being full of the Holy Spirit. Go ahead.
Looked up steadfastly into heaven and saw the glory of Yahweh. And Yahushua standing on the right hand of Yahweh.
See, now who was standing on the right hand of the Most High when the heavens was open and Stephen saw this? Yahushua. It only speaks about Yahushua was standing next to the Most High, nobody else. Read on.
And said, Behold, I see the heavens open, and the Son of Man standing on the right hand of Yahweh. Then they cried out with a loud voice.
Who cried out? Our people. They were the one that was killing them, stoning them. Read on.
And stopped their ears.
You know, I don't want to hear that. You know, like they do today when you're out there teaching. Nah. You know, go ahead.
And ran upon him with one accord.
Ran up on him with one accord, just like they do today. I don't want to hear that stuff y'all talk. Y'all teaching hate. Y'all are racist. No, Christ loves everybody. Run up on you on one accord, and they do that today. Go ahead.
And cast him out of the city, and stoned him.
And they stoned his own people, Stephen's own people, Israelites. They stoned him, and come on.
And the witnesses laid down their clothes.
And the witness, laid down their clothes at who?
At the young man's feet.
Now, who was the young man? Read on.
Whose name was Saul.
Saul, who became the Apostle Paul. See, you see what Paul's position and occupation was before Yahushua started dealing with him. He was a Roman cop, a Roman centurion. He was right there. watching this whole thing. And Paul was getting licensed from the Roman government to go into the congregations of the Israelites and just turn it over. But Paul, Yahushua brought Paul in. You know, Paul converted and to being a Christian, which the teachings of Christ. That's all that is. It have nothing to do with religion. It have nothing to do with Christianity today. It's just the teachings of Christ. Because when you read in the book of Acts, I think it's 11:26, it tells you that the apostles, the disciples was called Christians first at Antioch. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they was doing the same thing that Christ was doing. They was Christ-like. So when you read throughout the history about the Christians, those were Israelites. They was doing the same thing in the teachings and had the faith that Christ had. Now later on, they started mixing it up with paganism and then pushing that religion out there. Are you a Christian? I believe in Christianity. You know, get baptized and all this stuff, you know, but it's the baptism for the wrong reasons. Continue.
Verse 59, and they stoned Stephen, calling upon Yahweh and saying, Adon Yahushua, receive my spirit.
Now, is Stephen one of those martyrs? One of those souls crying out? But he's asking the Most High, receive my spirit, not my soul. So there was a vision. And where was Stephen killed at? The altar of the earth, not in the spirit realm. So he was on the altar down here, not the altar up there. That's just a vision, okay? So from there you had Stephen, a model like Yahushua said, John the Baptist, okay, the souls of John the Baptist, the soul of Stephen. And then you had during the Maccabee period, there were persecution under Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes. Epiphanes mean mad man. That's what the Israelite called it. They said, man, this is a mad man right here. This guy's mad. This guy would do anything, kill anything. Don't care to kill old, young. Don't care. Burn them, sacrifice them, anything. So there was Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes. There were many martyrs, and Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes was a forerunner of the Antichrist to come. But the Antichrist to come will do more than what Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes did. And Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes was a part of the Seleucids. They were Greek kings ruling out of Syria. Okay, they were Greek kings of Syria. Their headquarters was Antioch in Syria. Okay? That's Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes. And there were martyrs under the Roman persecution as well. You had martyrs during the medieval time. You had martyrs during the Dark Ages. You had martyrs under the Emperor Diocletian. You got Diocletian up there? Can you pull him up? Now don't get thrown off about, man, I was talking about these white people. No, don't get mixed up with the pictures. You know, most of the pictures is going to be that color anyway. Like Septimus Severus was black. Okay, they whitewash a lot of the pictures. They chopped off the noses. So just read the history. I'm getting the brother to put this up. Y'all take the name down, take the dates, and go check the history out. That's all, you know, we doing this for. You check the history out, read the history, and get something up under your belt. Con? Let me know when everybody get there so we can move forward, so we can move on.
Want to finish 60?
Huh?
Want me to read 60? Or no? 7 and 60?
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Yeah, it just remind me. Everybody got that? Okay, now pull up Septimius Severus, the Severian dynasty. Pull that up. They were dark-skinned. Septimius Severus, dark-skinned, and his dynasty, all those was his sons. Geta, Alexander Severus, Caracalla, right? They were dark-skinned. But they was persecuting what? Dark-skinned people. So it really didn't matter. It was about what you believed in, where you stood. See, did you stand with Christ or you stand with the emperor? The Most High is your God, or you're going to worship the emperor as your God. See, that was the thing back then. They pushed the worshiping of emperors as gods. If you didn't worship the emperor as a god, a divine individual, you was put to death. And later on, it speaks about the beast, the Antichrist in the near future. All old and young would bow down. They will make decrees to make you do that. You gonna give up your faith and do that? Or you gonna become what our forefathers became? Pay the price for it. You pay the price to do right. Huh? You pay the price to do the right thing. Okay, everybody got that? Okay, now, the history holds that Peter was crucified by Nero Caesar, but he was crucified upside down. In the history, Peter told him, look, I'm not worthy to die like Christ. Crucify me upside down. And you can find that in the history. If you can pull up something, Zaquan, on that. If not, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah. And Nathaniel was beheaded. The heads cut off. They died violent death. And when the scripture speaks about the souls in Revelation crying out, their blood was crying out like Abel's blood. We're going to get that too. So their life was actually crying out. Okay, for what? Vengeance. Lord, when are you going to avenge us on the wicked of the earth? Because the Most High don't take it kindly that non-believers is persecuting his people. The Most High don't take that nice. He don't take that kindly. You a non-believer, you going to persecute my people? But in the near future, you're going to have the oppressed is going to judge and rule over the oppressors. That's what the scriptures say, right? That's what Revelation speaks about when it speaks about I saw thrones. And they that sat on the thrones was given judgment. And they was judging the oppressors because they were the oppressed. Okay? Now, you had Thomas, where Matthews was killed with the sword. And you had Thomas, old doubting Thomas. Yahushua told him, look, you're going to drink of this cup that I'm drinking from, whether you want to or not. And old doubting Thomas was run through with a lance, like a spear. Went straight through him. And James was thrown from a tower, and he was stoned, and then he was sawn in pieces, sawed in pieces. And then you got Judas, not Iscariot. Judas was shot to death with arrows, like bullets, boom, with arrows. Took him out. And Paul was beheaded under Nero Caesar. Okay? Now, you had Polycarp. Pull up Polycarp. You got him? Zaquan, you got Polycarp? Polycarp was a disciple of the disciples. 86 years old. He was burned at the stake. So it didn't matter your age of how old you were. If you had that faith or even mentioned the name of Yahushua, they're going to get you. They're going to get you. Everybody got Polycarp? Take his name down and do some research. You can look up this historian named Eusebius. He got a lot of church history. He write a lot of church history. Eusebius, you know about it? Yeah. Okay. Eusebius. Everybody got that? And when I said age didn't matter, there was this young girl named Blandina. Pull up. 15 years old. The history says she was tortured in every way of torture known to man. 15. But she didn't deny her faith. She was burned upon a hot iron chair. She was hung on a stake for wild beasts to eat. But guess what? The beast did not even touch her. It didn't touch her. Y'all got that? And she was martyred under, what's the emperor name? Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Okay? Y'all got that, right? Okay, let's move on. Now, back in those times, you had the Israelite, the believers of Christ. There were times when their belief was tolerated, and they was persecuted at times. But there was an edict. It was called the Edict of Milan in 313 AD. An edict is an official order. That edict tolerated the Israelites to worship the way they wanted to worship, to believe in Yahushua, okay, as the mediator between them and the Most High. Because they had a lot of lies out about the Israelites that believed in Christ, that they drink blood and all that. You know, the Last Supper, that they worshiping demons and all types of things, man. So the Roman government sent the men out, sent their army out to take them, lock them up, and persecute them. Okay, so the Edict of Milan, Milan is around Italy. That was in 313 AD. Let's go to Revelation 17:6. And y'all stop, get me Revelation 16:5.
17:6.
Oh, you want to read that last? Okay.
Read that last, yeah. Last two verses of Acts chapter 7, 59 and 60. And they stoned Stephen, calling upon Yahweh and saying, I don't want Yahushua, receive my spirit. And he kneeled down and cried with a loud voice, Adawan, lay not this sin to their charge. And when he had said this, he fell asleep.
Now, for him to say, now they the one killing him. The Israelites is the one killing him, stoning him. But he kneeled down and he prayed to the Most High, said, Lord, don't lay this charge against them. Now, for you to say that, you would have to have understanding of love. You would have to have the understanding of what your nation is about and the plans of the Most High. You would have to have understanding of the plans of the Most High. Because if that was one of us, said, Lord, get that nigga, get him, get him, get him, Lord. Bring me back, I'll get him. You know, but that show you that Stephen understood the program. He understood the plan, and he understood what nation was about. He understood what giving his life was about, becoming that martyr. Because he didn't act like how we would act. Yeah, let me get him. Get him, Lord. Get his family. Put him to death tonight. You know, let them be where I'm at. Okay, continue. You finish the 6. Revelation 17:6.
Revelation chapter 17 and verse 6. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration.
Okay, the saints, the martyrs, the woman is drunk. Just guzzling, just killing the martyrs, killing the saints. Drunk with the blood of the martyrs, the blood of the saints. Revelation 16:5.
It's the book of Revelations, chapter 16 and verse 5. And I heard the angel of the waters say, Thou art righteous, O Yahweh, which art and was and shall be, because thou hast judged thus.
Read the 6th verse.
For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy.
Okay, see, they have shed the blood of saints and prophets. The reason I'm going through these scriptures, because we're going back to Revelation, the 6th chapter, to show you who those souls are and why John saw that vision and what they was killed for, and why they asking the Most High for vengeance. Okay, we back in Revelation, the 6th chapter. Let's hit that 9th verse again.
Revelation chapter 6 and verse 9. And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahweh and for the testimony which they held.
Okay, now we have read about the altar. We have read about the souls, because everybody should have pen and paper writing these scriptures down. Now, once we finish, you go back, you watch the show, and you check your notes. Okay, and if anything you need to add or come to me talk about, you can. Okay, so we read about the altar, we read about the souls, and we read about them that was slain for the word and the testimony which they held. So the reason that they were put to death and killed is because of what? The testimony which they held. That's why they died. They died for the faith. They didn't change. They didn't play any games. Remember, during the Maccabee period, they took this elder out, well-respected brother, gray up in age. They took him out and they said, hey, man, I know the people, I know you influence the people and the people respect you a lot. Look, and I know whatever you do, they will follow you and they will do. Why don't you just fake like you eating this pork? You know, just pretend that you eating it. You really don't have to eat it, but just pretend so they can follow that. The old man said, hell no, I'm not doing that. You might as well kill me. Okay, so they died because of the dietary law. They died because of their faith. Okay, they did not turn back from their faith. And they didn't die, I mean, they didn't worship the emperor as a god. Like in the future, the beast will pass decrees to be worshiped as a god too, the Antichrist. Okay? Now, the souls are asking the Most High to avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth. So their life was crying out. Did you read that?
10, no.
Okay, read the 10th verse. Let's start with that.
Revelation 6 and 10. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Adawan, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?
Right, so they cried with a loud voice. In this vision, the souls are asking, how long are you going to wait? Avenge our blood. But remember, like I said before, the Most High have a plan of salvation. It's a set number that the Most High is looking for, is looking together before he avenge. Once that last martyr is put to death, then the Most High is going to react. You see that? So when the souls are crying out, what are they actually doing? Let's go to Genesis 4, 10 to 11.
Genesis chapter 4 and verse 10.
Come on.
And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood, blood crieth unto me.
Read the 9th verse.
9th. And Yahweh said unto Cain, where is Abel, thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now thou art cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand.
Okay, so now the souls in Revelation is crying out to the Most High. Now in Genesis 4th chapter and the 10th verse, the scripture reads that Abel's blood is crying out. So can blood really cry out? Because the blood represents what? The life of Abel. So blood represented his life, so we know blood can't talk. So when Cain killed Abel, he took his life away. Okay, his life cried out like the souls. It was their life. Not the souls are crying out, not Abel's blood is crying out, because the life is where? In the blood. Let's go to Leviticus 17. We're going to go into Leviticus, the 17th chapter, from the 11th to the 14th verse.
Genesis chapter 17, verse 11. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your sins.
Right.
For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul.
See, the blood maketh an atonement for the soul, for that person. Come on.
Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, no soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger.
It said what? No soul of you shall eat blood. No people. None of you. No individual shall eat blood. So when you go out, you go to these restaurants or what have you, you get your steak well done. You know, if you burgers or what have you, well done. Your food well done. No blood in it. Come on.
Neither shall any stranger that sojourneth among you eat blood.
Right.
And whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunteth and catcheth any beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof and cover it with dust.
Right. The chicken, well done. No blood running through it. You know, well done. Now put that back and fry it a little bit more. Yeah. Go ahead.
For it is the life of all flesh. The blood of it is for the life thereof.
Right.
Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh. For the life of all flesh is in the blood thereof. Whosoever eateth it shall be cut off.
So Abel's life cried out. Okay, his life, not the blood. The blood can't talk. So the souls are crying out, the life. Not up there when they was here in the earth. Because John is seeing this in a vision, what he's seeing. Okay, we got that earlier. So what Cain actually did, Cain spiritually polluted the land because blood pollutes the land. So Abel, that cry was a demand for the right to live. A demand, I want you to punish this murderer. And the Most High is looking at that today, man. You ever look at how some people in this earth is being killed, is being murdered, man? Viciously, with no mercy. Just look at the elderly woman in her 80s. In a house, someone breaks in her house, rapes her, stabs her over 100 times. You don't think her soul is crying out? You don't think her blood is crying out? Her life is crying out at that time because she's trying to grab the blade, and as she's trying to grab, she's getting hit. And sometimes it'd be so much power, the individual coming down, that the blade would break in that person. Yeah, so it's people have died violent death. Like I said, this whole earth is an altar, is a sacrificial altar, and much blood have been spilled on this altar, which is the earth. You see? So there's a violent death. And what Cain did, Cain spiritually polluted the land. Let's go to 106 Psalms and verse 38, 37 and 38. And Yawasab, get me Numbers 35, 33, 34.
Psalms 106 and verse 36 or 37?
37 and 38.
37. Yea, they sacrifice their sons and their daughters unto devils, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrifice unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood.
See, especially when you shed innocent blood, you spiritually pollute the land. Y'all hear that, right? Come on.
Verse 39. Thus they...
Okay, you can nix that. Come on, Yawasab. Numbers, the 35th chapter, 33 to 34th verse.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell, for I, the Most High, dwell among the children of Israel.
Right, so when Cain killed Abel, he spiritually polluted the land. Now, when you read about Nineveh in the book of Jonah, you can apply that to America too. It said, woe to the bloody city. A lot of blood is here, man. This whole country is polluted, spiritually polluted with blood. All these different wars that was fought here, all the revolutionary battles and so forth, even from the 1960s, the Panthers and so forth. Much blood, the lynching, slavery and all that. A lot of blood is right here, the hangings. A lot of blood is right here in this country. Woe unto the bloody city. Okay, let's go to Deuteronomy 21st chapter. Let's start from the 1st verse to the 9th verse. That's the book of Deuteronomy, the 21st chapter, from the 1st verse to the 9th verse.
Deuteronomy chapter 21 and verse 1.
Come on.
If one be found slain in the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee to possess it, lying in the field, and it be not known who hath slain him.
See how the Most High got these laws set up? I mean, you have that all the time in this country, something that is called an unsolved murder. You see that? You got a body out there, and nobody know nothing. They go knocking on the doors. I don't want to be no snitch. I don't know what happened. I don't know. So the Most High got laws for this. Even if you don't know who murdered that individual out there, who's responsible for that body. But let's read how the Most High deal with this thing, though. See, read that first verse again.
Deuteronomy 21 and 1.
The Most High is just and true. Come on.
If one be found slain in the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee to possess it, lying in the field, and it be not known who hath slain him.
See, you found this body. Here they put the tape and everything, but you found this body, but nobody knows who's responsible for this body. It's a dead body, but nobody know who killed this individual. Read the 2nd verse.
Then thy elders and thy judges shall come forth.
See, you got elders and you got judges, the police, right? But they don't do that here. See, these is the Most High's laws. It said, thy elders and thy judges shall come forth. Read on.
And they shall measure unto the cities which are round about him that is slain.
See there? You got the body right here. So now they're going to measure the little towns. They're going to measure the cities, right? Okay, let's measure here, measure there. Okay, something. Okay, such and such. Go ahead.
And it shall be that the city which is next unto the slain man.
See that? Now, after the measurement, the city that is closer to the body, check this out. The city that's closer to the body, they're going to be responsible. Now, is it the city at the wrong place at the wrong time? But the Most High is fair. The Most High is true and just. We're going to keep on reading. Start that back over.
And it shall be that the city which is next unto the slain man, even the elders of that city, shall take an heifer.
See, the elders of that city, you say, what y'all measure? What the body's closer to my city? So this is what they got to do. They got to take a heifer, female cow, come on.
Which hath not been wrought with, and which hath not drawn in the yoke.
Okay, come on.
And the elders of that city shall bring down the heifer unto a rough valley, which is neither eared or sown.
So you can't kill this heifer on the land, the land, grass and everything. You got to take it down in the valley, because remember, the blood pollutes the land. So you take this heifer down in the valley. Read on.
Which is neither eared nor sown.
Come on.
And shall strike off the heifer's neck in the valley.
Right, you should strike the heifer's neck off. So by striking the heifer's neck is a representation of the judgment of the unknown murderer. Because somebody killed him, but they don't know. So striking the heifer's neck off is a representation of whoever did it. This is a judgment. Okay, a representation is symbolic of the judgment of whoever did it. Read on. Or whoever killed this person.
Verse 5. And the priest's sons, the sons of Levi, shall come near. For them, Yahweh thy power hath chosen to minister unto him, and to bless in the name of Yahweh. And by their word shall every controversy and every stroke be tried.
So with that done, it say, and the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come near. See, the Most High got everything already set up, man. You know, here we got the police, the corpsmen and all that stuff. You know, everybody checking the body, trying to figure out what happened and so forth. But the Most High got the Levite priests, got the heifer, and then also with the Most High, you make oaths. You got to give your word. See, that's what this city had to do. They have to give their word. And the scripture's going to explain that. Because the city that was closer to the body, it had to go through this. Because like what we read now, innocent, righteous blood cries out. The life cries out. The Most High is going to take action soon or later. Now, if that city didn't want to go along with this program, the Most High wouldn't think highly of their city. He wouldn't think nothing of their city. Okay, you can't offer a heifer. You can't give an oath. You can't give your word. And you can't wash your hands. The Most High don't think nothing about that city. Continue to read.
Verse 6. And the elders of that city that are next unto the slain man.
You hear that? And the elders of that city that are next unto the slain man, that they found the dead man, the city that's next to it, read on.
Shall wash their hands over the heifer that is beheaded in the valley.
And they shall wash their hands over the heifer that's beheaded in the valley. Remember that beheaded heifer represent the unknown murderer. Come on.
And they shall answer and say, our hands have not shed this blood, neither have our eyes seen it.
So they saying, look, our hands, and nobody in my city have done this. Nobody in my city have seen this. Come on.
Be merciful, O Yahweh, unto thy people Israel.
You see that? After they did all this, they done beheaded the heifer, and they done washed their hands, and they telling the priest, look, nobody in my city have committed this murder. Nobody seen it. Nobody committed this murder. And now the 8th verse said, be merciful, O Most High. Now you got to ask for mercy now. Read on.
Unto thy people Israel, whom thou hast redeemed, and lay not innocent blood unto thy people of Israel's charge.
Right, because that life will cry out like what we're reading about. Because a lot of our people died violent deaths. A lot of innocent blood was spilled. And you think the Most High is not going to react? Yes, he's going to react, man. Come on.
And the blood shall be forgiven them.
Right.
So shalt thou put away the guilt of innocent blood from among you, when thou shalt do that which is right in the sight of Yahweh.
Right.
When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
But if the leaders of that city, if they didn't want to go through this, the Most High would have charged them for the death of that individual that's near to their city. The Most High would have put the charge to them. What, you don't want to sacrifice a heifer? You don't want to make an oath? You're going to be charged with this murder. Ain't that something? But it's right. It's just. But they don't do that out here. They try to set you up and you give information on, yeah, you the one did it. You go to prison for crime you didn't commit. But the Most High is just. Or somebody can say, yeah, I saw him. Probably wasn't you. But when them Levite priests, when they step in your city, when they step on his own, you better believe the Most High is there. And those protocols that's instituted by the Most High, that's what they go by. That's what they going by. And the Most High Spirit is there. And the right judgment, the true judgment, will come out of that thing. But if you don't want to go along with that program and sacrifice and make an oath, the Most High don't think nothing about your city. You're going to be charged with that crime anyway. I just might send a famine, or I might just send a storm. I might just send Jehu. Y'all remember the story about Jehu, the Israelite king? Y'all know the story about Jehu? Y'all know the story about Ahab and Jezebel, right? So Jehu was appointed king of Israel, and the Most High set him up to bring judgment to Ahab and Jezebel. Because he came through the city, and Jezebel was up in the window. Jehu said, throw her out. Throw her ass up out of here. Throw her out. Throw her out. You know, because they didn't want to do that. She hiding there. Get her and throw her out. Because this judgment is from the Most High. Y'all better go back and read the Kings, 1st and 2nd Kings, and go back and read 1st Chronicles and 2nd Chronicles, and also read Samuel's. That's good for you too. That's some good history. If y'all don't know who Jehu was, man, when Jehu got in his chariot, started riding through the city, you don't even have to see who was that. Just the way he's driving that chariot, it's, oh, that's Jehu. It's just like in your neighborhood, somebody driving a car, driving all wild, oh, that's such and such. You know who it is. So Jehu was reckless in that chariot, but the Most High had appointed him to bring judgment to Jezebel. Read that history. Read the history. Okay. Now, let's go to Hebrews, the 12th chapter and the 24th verse.
What?
Hebrews, no, yeah. Hebrews, the 12th chapter and the 24th verse. And remember, now what Jehu did for the Most High, now Jehu went off too, but what he did for the Most High, he executed what the Most High wanted him to execute. And the Most High blessed Jehu with, I believe it was 4 generations that sat on the throne. I think 3 or 4 generations that sat on the throne of Israel as kings of Israel. They were sons from Jehu. I think one name was Zechariah. I think Jeroboam the second, because it was a Jeroboam the first, or was one of the first kings of Israel, I believe. And it was Jeroboam the second and Zechariah. They were sons of Jehu. There was some in between. I can't remember the names. But go read the story. The Most High blessed Jehu for carrying out those acts and had his seed to sit on the throne 4 generations. Okay, so the Most High paid him back for that favor. Okay, so the Most High will reward you. Now he'll take you out, but he will reward you. Okay, we're going to Hebrews, the 12th chapter and the 24th verse.
Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 24. And to Yahushua, the mediator of the new covenant, and to the blood of sprinkling, that speaketh better things than that of Abel.
Okay, so you look at the blood of Yahushua and the blood of Abel. The blood of Yahushua gives what? Mercy to the nation. The blood of Abel cries out for what? Vengeance. You see that? So the blood of Abel cries for justice and retribution, and the blood of Christ calls for reconciliation and peace between Israel and the Most High. Now, when you read in Isaiah 63, the scripture speaks about who is this coming from Edom? That's Yahushua. And he also say, I have vengeance in my heart. But the doors are open now for Israel to return back to their maker. The doors are open. So it's peace now. But when the doors are closed, it's going to be vengeance. It's going to be vengeance on the world, and it's going to be vengeance on the rebellious of our people, because the door is shut now. Okay, let's move from here. Let's go back to Revelation, the 6th chapter. We've covered the 10th verse. Let's read the 11th verse.
Revelation chapter 6 and verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season.
Okay, it said white robes was given to every last one of them. This is talking about the souls. So these white robes is what? There would be their resurrected and glorious bodies. You see that? Come on.
Until their fellow servants also.
And it said they should rest yet a little season. So the scripture say, look, okay, y'all crying over this and that and how long this and that. Look, y'all going to get rewarded white robes. Y'all going to get these resurrected and glorious bodies. But look, rest a little bit longer. Rest a little season. Read on.
Until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled.
Should be fulfilled. So in this vision, if it's saying that they should rest yet for a little season, where they at? They dead. Rest on until the resurrection come, until your brethren join you, and then the fulfillment of all the models. What it said that last that last word, till they should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled. So when that last martyr is killed, then the vengeance come, then the avenging come. Okay, so the white robes are the resurrected glorious body, and the little season is what? After that great tribulation, because it's speaking about two groups here now. It speaks about two groups of martyrs. There were martyrs before that we spoke about, the apostles, the persecution of the Roman Empire, the persecution of the Greeks. So that's one set of martyrs. Now, the second set of martyrs is going to take place during that great tribulation. And that's not now, that's in the future. Okay, they are going to be joined with the other martyrs. It have to be fulfilled. That number, that value have to be fulfilled in the eyes of the Most High. It's a set number that the Most High is waiting for the Most High to avenge. Y'all see that? No, y'all don't? Y'all see that? Okay. So it's saying white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest. Keep on resting. Where they resting at? In the graves. Yet for a little season, until your fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled. So that's the two set of martyrs, and the latter martyrs would be fulfilled how? Let's go to Revelation 13 and 15.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Should be killed. So now the first martyrs should rest a little season until their fellow servants, also their brethren, that should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled, from Revelation 13 and 15. That's how they're going to get there. Con? Okay, from here, we're going to get a few more scriptures. It's not going to be a long class, but I'm trying to give you enough that you can bite off of, that you can eat. Okay, you're getting a lot of scriptures. Okay, study the board, the monitor, study that. In my next class that I teach, I'm going to ask you about those notes. You know I'm going to ask you about your notes. I'm going to ask you about the class. Okay, might even give you a test. It's going to be a pop-up. Well, it ain't going to be a pop-up because I told you, okay? But y'all go and study. Go study now. Because if you look at pagan Rome, see, we speak about resurrection. Our hope is the resurrection. Without the resurrection, you're done. That's it. So our hope is the resurrected, or the resurrection, to be resurrected and to come back and rule with Christ. Con? But pagan Rome, they knew a little bit about the resurrection. So what pagan Rome did, they tried to prevent the hope of resurrection from the saints. This is what they was doing. They would kill you and they would lay your body out for about 6 days. And they would have like the Roman soldiers would be posted up to make sure nobody would bury that body. Because when you read in the book of Tobit, everybody know about Tobit, right? Tobit was a part of the Assyrian captivity. He was from the tribe of Naphtali. And I think his wife was getting on him so much because he was out there burying people, you know, they was giving him flack for that, but he kept burying the people. Maybe he understood resurrection. But the pagan Rome knew about the resurrection, and they tried to destroy the hope of the saints being resurrected by the Most High. So they would leave the bodies out there for about a week or 6 days, and then they would take the bodies and they would burn the bodies to ashes. In other words, cremate it. And then they would throw the ashes into the wrong river. Some was thrown to dogs. So they looked at it, if they burn you, that the hope of resurrection is not there. See that's why we do what the scriptures say. You know, we put an Israelite in the ground. We don't cremate. You know, because that's how pagan Rome was thinking, that they can stop the resurrection, or they can stop an Israelite from coming back in a body. But the Most High do what he want to do. He can bring you back any way he wants to bring you back. Whether dogs eat you, lions eat you, you get burned up or what have you, the Most High can bring you back however way. Remember, there were martyrs. They died violent deaths. A lot of them was burnt. But the Most High had told them, you're going to be rewarded for your mission. And even for us today, our mission, it comes in suffering. It's not going to be an easy mission. It's all right now, but later on, the mission is going to be with suffering, in suffering. Huh? Okay, let's go from here. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter and the 16th verse. Everybody got the Apocrypha, right? If you don't, look on with your neighbor. We still dealing with resurrection, the dead, and death. 2nd Ezra, 2nd chapter, the 16th verse.
2nd Ezra, 2nd chapter, 16th verse. And those that be dead will I raise up again from their places, and bring them out of the graves. For I have known my name in Israel.
You hear that? You hear what the scriptures say, right? Okay, let's go from there. Let's go back into the Bible. Let's go to the book of Job, the 19th chapter, and the 25th to the 27th verse.
Job 19 and 25. For I know that my Redeemer liveth.
You hear what Job said? I know that my Redeemer liveth. Read on.
And that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth.
Okay, Job knew that. This was before Christ came on the scene. Job knew that. Read.
And though after my skin worms destroy this body.
You hear what he's saying? After my skin, worms is going to destroy my body. He's talking about resurrection. Read on.
Yet in my flesh shall I see Yahweh.
You see that worms is going to destroy his body. His body's no more, but in his flesh, he going to see the Most High. See? So that's resurrection. Read on, 27th verse.
Whom I shall see for myself, and mine eyes shall behold, and not another.
See, so Job said, I can see this for myself. I don't need anybody to tell me about this. I want to see for myself. Read.
though my reins be consumed within me.
Okay, let's go from there. Let's go to Revelation, the 20th chapter, and the 4th verse.
Revelation chapter 20 and verse 4. And I saw thrones,
4 to 6.
and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua,
Okay.
and for the word of Yahweh, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image.
That's talking about a future time right there. He said, I saw the souls. I saw the individuals. Read on.
Neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years.
It said, and they lived and they reigned. It said first they was beheaded for the witness of Yahushua. So if they was beheaded, meaning that they was what?
Killed.
Dead. Now would say that they reign and they live and reigned with Yahushua for 1,000 years. So they was resurrected. So you got to be dead, then you're resurrected for 1,000 years. And this is the oppressed judging the oppressors. Come on.
Verse 5, but the rest of the dead live not.
So the rest of the dead is not going to live until when?
Not again until the 1,000 years were finished.
So everybody's dead. They have to be resurrected. John wasn't seeing the apostles and disciples around the throne of the Most High sitting on an altar, asking the Most High to avenge us. That was a vision. Come on.
This is the first resurrection.
Okay, read the 6th verse.
Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection.
In the first resurrection, because the first resurrection is power there. There's no death there. You're going to rule with the Mashiach in that first resurrection. Strive for that first resurrection. Okay? And the scriptures say the rest of the dead live not until after that first resurrection. See? So everybody's dead. Huh? Okay, let's go from here. Let's go to Isaiah 26 and the 19th verse. Isaiah, the 26th chapter and the 19th verse.
Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 19. Thy dead men shall live. Together with my dead body shall they arise.
Right. See that?
Awake and sing, ye that dwell in the dust.
Read.
For thy dew is as the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead.
Right. See that? Y'all see that, right? Let's go from here. Let's go to First Thessalonians, 4th chapter, 16 to the 18th verse.
First Thessalonians chapter 4 verse 16.
Come on.
For the outer one himself shall descend from heaven with a shout.
Where is he coming from? From the heavens. He's going to descend from the heavens. Come on.
With a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Yahweh. And the dead in the Mashiach shall rise first.
No, they already living.
And the dead in the Mashiach shall rise first.
They asking the Most High how long.
And the dead in the Mashiach shall rise first.
They dead, man. They gonna rise first. See that? Come on.
Then we which are alive,
the ones that's still in the earth, they are alive. Come on.
And remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds.
They're gonna be together. Read on.
To meet the outer one in the air, and so shall we ever be with Yahweh.
Come on.
Wherefore, comfort one another with these words.
With these words. Now, when they meet the Lord in the air, where they going? They going straight up to heaven? Or they coming back down here? Yeah, ain't nobody going up there. Most High don't want you up there messing up the heaven, man. Standing on corners, drinking all 40s and all this smoking. Most High don't want you up there. He don't want you up there. Oh, you down here. This is your kingdom down here. This is your heaven or hell right here in this earth. So They're going to meet the Lord in the air. See, now religions will take it. They're going straight on up there. Now, Most High don't want to see you up there. The angels don't want you up there. Get out of here. See the Lord in the air, and you're coming right back down. And when you say the Lord's Prayer, then you will find out where your kingdom is at. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, where? On earth, as it is where? In heaven. Okay, it's going to be like a makeup as the kingdom in the spirit realm on this earth. Most High don't need you up there. No. He's seen what you did down here. He don't need you up there. Okay, from here, let's go to 2 Maccabees. Second Maccabees, the 7th chapter, and the 36th verse.
2 Maccabees, chapter 7 and verse 36. For our brethren, who have now suffered a short pain, are dead under Yahweh's covenant of everlasting life. But thou, through the judgment of Yahweh, shalt receive just punishment for thy pride.
Okay, see there? For our brethren who now have suffered a short pain, where they at? They're dead. Under the Most High's covenant of what? Resurrection and everlasting life. See there? And when the scriptures say, the judgment of the Most High shall receive just punishment for thy pride, it was talking about the oppressor. Okay, from here, Ephesians 5:14. The book of Ephesians, the 5th chapter and the 14th verse.
5 and 14?
Yeah.
Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 14. Wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and the Mashiach shall give thee light.
Right. So this can be a spiritual sleep and what? A physical sleep. It can be both. Okay, let's go from here. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter. And we're going to hit the 51st verse to the 54th verse.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 51. Behold, I show you a mystery.
Oh, behold, I show you a mystery. Come on.
We shall not all sleep.
You hear that?
But we shall all be changed.
Yeah, we should not all die. We should not all be dead. Read on.
In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
Okay, the dead shall be raised incorruptible. Okay, you can't already be there. You got to be raised. You got to be resurrected. Come on.
For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality.
Immortality, come on.
So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory.
Right, so death is swallowed up in victory by what? We being immortal. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy 4 and 6.
Second Timothy chapter 4 and verse 6.
Come on.
For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand.
You see what Paul is saying? For I am now ready to be what? Offered as a living sacrifice. Just like the souls in Revelation, Paul is ready to be offered. That's his job. He knew his destiny. He said, my time, my departure is at hand. I'm on this altar of the earth, and I know that I'm going to be sacrificed. My time is at hand. My departure is at hand. He understood that. And once you get in your mind that you understand life and death, or you understand death, then you do well. See, we get all startled because we don't have that understanding yet. We have fear. Anything that you don't know or anything that you don't understand, yeah, you're going to be a little shook behind it. You're going to be afraid of, because you don't understand it. You ain't never seen certain things before. Most I haven't gave it to you yet. Or now there are some people, look, I don't fear death, you know, some are foolish talking. I'm not afraid to die. Okay. Now your spirit lives on. But some of that is foolish talk from foolish people. But you have foolish people talking like that and actually believe that. I'm not afraid. And they're not. But they don't know the Most High, though. See, they don't know the terror of the Most High. See, because the Most High said, don't fear him that can kill the soul and the body and everything. But he said, fear him that can kill all of it. Spirit, soul, body, can destroy it all. So you fear him. Now, we finished that, right?
Con.
Let's go to Romans, the 8th chapter and the 36th verse. We're going to wrap it up in a few. We're not going to be long. I always say that, right? We're not going to be long. and then I do another 20. Romans, the 8th chapter and the 36th verse.
Romans 8 and 36. As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long.
Okay, for thy sake we are killed like sheep to the slaughter. Let's go to the 115th Psalms, and y'all stop get me Ecclesiastes in the Bible, the 9th chapter, the 5th verse, and the 10th verse.
What verse?
The 17th. 115th Psalm, 115th Psalm, the 17th verse.
Psalms 115 and verse 17. The dead praise not Yahweh, neither any that go down into silence.
See there? And you got to be alive to praise the Most High. You got to be alive to rap to him. you got to be alive to praise the Most High, to rap to the Most High, ask the Most High to get forgiveness. You got to be alive. Ecclesiastes 9th chapter, 5th verse and the 10th verse.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse 5. For the living know that they shall die.
Yes, you do. Everybody sitting in this room know that, right? Any of you think you're going to live forever? You know that day is coming. Yeah, come on.
But the dead know not anything.
Right, dead don't know nothing. Read the 10th verse.
There's more on 5.
Oh, you got some more?
Neither have they any more a reward, for the memory of them is forgotten.
Right, because there's nothing you can do under the dirt, man. This big altar that we're living, the earth, and then you hit that other altar, which is the grave. Read the 10th verse.
Verse 10. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest.
Anything that you can do, any good that you can do, you better do it now. Because when you're not here, you won't be able to do it. Yeah. Let's go from here. 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, and the 31st verse.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 31. I protest by your rejoicing, which I have in the Mashiach Yahushua, our Adawan. I die daily.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
I die daily. Read that again.
1 Corinthians 15 and 31. I protest by your rejoicing, which I have in Hamashiach Yahushua, our Adawan. I die daily.
I die daily. And we in here, we die every day. You know why? Because it's certain pleasures you can't partake of. You got to let a lot of things that you used to do, a lot of things that you see out there, you got to let it go. You can't participate in. The things that you used to do, that's gone. You can't go back and try to reach for that. This is your life now. So all the pleasures, that's gone. So you die daily, you know, restraining yourself. I mean, it's not hard. And I remember at the Sons of Thunder camp back in the early 90s, there were 3 young brothers that was a part of our camp. They were all family members, cousins. One of the brothers, I think he was 13. You had one that was 16. And you had one might have been 14. But they stuck with us for a while. But they was young. The pleasures, they couldn't let it go. You know, they hung with us for a while. They was out there teaching. The 13-year-old was on the podium teaching. I mean, the platform teaching. And you see all the little 12 and 13-year-olds walk up, you know, as he teaching. But then they got a little older. Like the 13-year-old got about 16. The others turned 18, 19. Then they try to go back into the pleasures that they wasn't getting for those years they was in the truth. See, so they tried to go back out into the world and got stuck out there. You know, they try to go out there and do a little part, and you know, it ain't no wrong with partying amongst ourselves, but you can't mix it with the ungodly because something's gonna go down. You understand? They got caught out there into, you know, because I saw one day smoking a cigarette. I mean, he was about 20 years old at that time. So he tried to go back, they tried to go back out there and reach for that experience that they didn't have when they came in the Word, and they got stuck out there. So they didn't die daily. They didn't struggle and fight those pleasures. You know, went out there, met the young girls and so forth, and they got stuck. May have got into drugs. So we got to die every day, fighting these pleasures, fighting to keep the Sabbath, when a lot of our families don't even keep it. You know, when we walking through, what they cooking, barbecuing and everything, you know, we passing through. Okay, from here, let's go to Job 14:22.
Job chapter 14 and verse 22. But his flesh upon him shall have pain, and his soul within him shall mourn.
Right. And also the soul is a person, but your inner self, your mind, your emotion, okay, you can go deep into yourself. That's your soul too, your emotions and your mind. Okay, that's what Job is talking about. Now this is my last scripture. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. Second Ezra, the 4th chapter. And the 35th and the 36th verse. This is also called 4th Ezra.
2nd Ezra chapter 4 and verse 35.
Right. This is the same Ezra that's in the Bible. So 2nd Ezra, the 4th chapter, the 35th and the 36th verse.
Did not the souls also of the righteous ask question of these things in their chambers?
You hear that? But when we finish, I'm going to go around and explain that. Because some of us may be thinking, well, the souls, the individual that's, the chambers is the grave. The individuals that's in the grave, they are speaking, when the whole class, I've taught that no, they're not speaking. Okay, read that again.
2 Ezra 4:35. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask question of these things in their chambers, saying, how long shall I hope on this fashion?
Right.
When cometh the fruit of the floor of our reward?
Right. When is this resurrection? When is our reward for this work that we did and this violent deaths that we in our chambers, that we're in our graves? That was 36.
35.
35. Read to 36.
And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer, and said, even when the number of seeds is filled in you.
You see what I said before in Revelation? It has to be a number of martyrs fulfilled before the Most High avenge. Read on.
For he hath weighed the world in the balance.
See, everything is a balance with the Most High. You want to talk about math, everything is a balance. The Most High deals with numbers, years, dates, and everything. Everything is in order. Everything is a balance with the Most High. So what Ezra, the question Ezra was asking, the angel told him, look, man, you asking me stuff that even the people in their graves may want to know. They may want to know these things too. Okay, when is this going to happen? You know, because Ezra was asking so many questions. The angel said, man, it's people in their chambers probably asking the same thing. When is the earth is going to push out the people that's inside the earth? Because he gave the example of the womb, right? What verse is that in? I measured the number for, okay. 42nd verse.
42nd verse.
Read the 41st verse.
41. Then said I, no, I don't want. That can she not.
I tell you, read the 40th verse.
So he answered me and said, go thy way to a woman with child.
Right.
And ask of her when she hath fulfilled her 9 months, if her womb may keep the birth any longer within her. Then said I, no, I don't want. That she cannot. And he said unto me, in the grave, the chamber of souls are like the womb of a woman.
Right. Come on.
For like as a woman that travaileth maketh haste to escape the necessity of the travail, even so do these places haste to deliver those things
go ahead.
that are committed unto them.
It's like the grave. Grave wanted make haste to push them up, but it's all on the Most High's time. See, but what Ezra was seeing here, let's go to, you got some on that bin? I see you looking at me.
Read the whole thing though.
Read the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, we going that deep?
Yeah.
Continue to read then.
All right. Verse 43. From the beginning, look, what thou desirest to see, it shall be showed thee. Then answered I and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, and if it be possible, and if I be meet therefore, show me then whether there be more to come than is past, or more past than is to come.
Okay.
What is past I know, but what is for to come I know not.
I know not, right.
And he said unto me, stand up upon the right side, and I shall expound the similitude unto thee. So I stood and saw, and behold, an hot burning oven passed by before me. And it happened that when the flame was gone by, I looked, and behold, the smoke remained still. And after this there passed by before me a watery cloud, and sent down much rain with a storm. And when the stormy rain was past, the drops remained still. Then said he unto me, consider thyself, as the rain is more than the drops, and as the fire is greater than the smoke. But the drops and the smoke remain behind. So the quantity which is past did more exceed. Then I prayed and said, may I live? Thinkest thou until that time? Or what shall happen in those days? He answered me and said, as for the tokens whereof thou askest me, I may tell thee of them in part, but as touching thy life, I am not sent to show thee, for I do not know it.
I do not know it. But you want to go on, or
Ezra was asking some
right,
deep questions.
deep questions, right.
They just said, nah, I'm not going to show you everything.
Right.
You know?
Right. Now, Ezra was communicating with the angel. Now go back up to the 47th verse.
Verse 47. And he said unto me, stand up upon the right side.
See, this is what Ezra is being told. Stand up on thy right side.
And I shall expound the similitude unto thee.
And I will expound what?
The similitude.
The similitude unto thee. Go ahead.
So I stood and saw, and behold, an hot burning oven passed by before me.
Now was Ezra, is this like a vision? Okay, so this is my point from, this is the point that I'm making from the 35th to the 36th verse. Okay, that Ezra was in this vision. Okay, then I'm gonna get a few other scriptures to kind of help with that. So the angel, and he's talking with this angel through a vision. So the 48th verse, it said, and I stood and saw, and behold, a hot burning oven passed by before me. Now, an oven passing by, that's a vision. Go ahead.
And it happened that when the flame was gone by, I looked, and behold, the smoke remained still.
See? Come on.
After this, there passed by before me a watery cloud,
right,
and sent down much rain with a storm. And when the stormy rain was past, the drops remained still.
Right. See, so this is a vision. Go ahead.
Then said he unto me, consider thyself, as the rain is more than the drops, and as the fire is greater than the smoke. But the drops and the smoke remain behind. So the quantity which is passed did more exceed.
Okay, let's go from here. Let's go to second. Let's jump over to the 3rd chapter of 2nd Ezra. Let's go to 3 and 1.
2nd Ezra, chapter 3 and verse 1. In the 30th year after the ruin of the city, I was in Babylon, and lay troubled upon my bed, and my thoughts came up over my heart.
You hear what Ezra say? In the 30th year after the ruin of the city, he said, I was in Babylon, and I lay trouble upon my bed, and my thoughts came up over my heart. Let's go to 5th chapter and the 14th verse.
Chapter 5, verse 14. Then I awaked.
See, you hear him? He said, then I awaked. Come on.
And then extreme fearfulness went through all my body.
Right.
And my mind was troubled so that it fainted.
Right. See? So these are dreams. These are visions. Come on. Come on.
This is Hosea chapter 12, verse 10. I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets.
Right. Okay. Let's go to Habakkuk. I think Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, and we're going to close. What's that, Ben? Where he said that he trembled, when he trembled. 2nd chapter?
No, 3rd chapter. Yeah.
3rd chapter? Okay.
Around the 11th.
Okay.
Slot.
Okay, yeah.
What chapter?
Read the 3rd chapter, Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter. Let's start from the 14th verse. I tell you what, let's start from the 13th verse.
Habakkuk.
That's what. Let's start from the 12th verse.
Habakkuk chapter 3 and verse 12.
Yeah, because Habakkuk was seeing the present time that we
Yeah.
Habakkuk 3 and 12. Thou didst march through the land in indignation. Thou didst thresh the heathen in anger.
See there? Come on.
Thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people.
Ain't there some? Look, the salvation of Israel is going to be done in anger. The salvation is going to be with violence. Revelation, the 18th, where it say, in violence, that I have thrown down Babylon in violence. Read on.
Thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people, even for the salvation with thine anointed. Thou woundest the head out of the house of the wicked.
Come on.
By discovering the foundation unto the neck, Selah. Thou didst strike through with his staves the head of his villages. They came out as a whirlwind to scatter me.
Right.
Their rejoicing was as to devour the body, Selah, devour the poor secretly.
Right, come on.
Thou didst walk through the sea with thine horses, through the heat of great waters.
Now, read on.
When I heard, my belly trembled.
You hear that? In this vision, the brother say, when I heard this thing, my belly, I trembled. Come on.
My lips quivered at the voice.
My lips quivered. Read on.
rottenness entered into my bones.
Right, read on.
I trembled in myself.
I trembled within myself from this vision. Read on.
That I might rest in the day of trouble.
That I might rest in the day of trouble. We all feel that way. We all would say that. We all think that, hey, we want to rest in that day. After this tribulation, we want to rest in the day of trouble. After everything is over. Read on.
When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops.
You hear that? Invade them with his troops. You say you had something? Somebody said they had scripture because we getting ready to close. All right, brothers and sisters, water for your time. Hope you enjoyed the class. Remember, take down the scriptures and the monitor. Write down what Zaquan the Posh had posted up on the monitor. Read the history. And go back and read 1 Kings, 2 Kings, the book of 1 Samuel and 2 Samuel, and 1 Chronicles and 2 Chronicles. Read the history because y'all telling me y'all didn't know who Jehu was. Go back and read that history. Now, the book of Kings and the book of Chronicles is a compilation of the book of Kings, right? Now the difference is, like you have the book of Kings speaks about the kings of Judah and the kings of Israel, the kings of the southern kingdom and the kings of the northern kingdom. And the book of Chronicles is a compilation of just the kings of Judah. Go check it out. And my next class, we'll go over it, and maybe we'll do a test. And then we can converse with one another. Maybe we'll do a test. Y'all want that? Y'all want a test?
Done.
Okay. Some want a test and some don't. I heard la back there. I heard la. Okay, with that, brothers and sisters, happy Shabbat. That's the end of my class.